Dr. Komal to present the report of day 2, highlighting the key learning points from yesterday. Thank you, Ms. Harshita. Respected Chairman, Sir, Dr. Amit Gupta, in absentia, Director, Sir, Professor Dr. Sachin Yadav, Sir, in absentia, respected HOD, Ma'am, Dr. Pallavi Gupta, Ma'am, Professor Dr. A.K. Tyagi, and esteemed faculty members and all dear participants, a very good morning to all of you. Today, I have the honor to present before you the report of day 2 of the Faculty Development Program on recent advancements in forensic science and technology from crime scenes to courtroom. The proceedings of day 2 commenced with the formal reading of the report of day 1 by Mr. Gaurav Yadav, sir, which provided continuity to the academic discourse of the program. Thereafter, the resource person for the day, Professor Dr. Alok Sharma, ma'am, Professor, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, was accorded a warm and respectful welcome with a virtual bouquet, symbolizing our appreciation of her distinguished academic presence. Professor Dr. Alok Sharma, ma'am, began her lecture by emphasizing the concept of forensic imperatives, underscoring the indispensable role of forensic sciences in the modern criminal justice system. She highlighted that forensic science today is no longer merely supportive in nature, but has emerged as a central pillar of investigation and adjudication. She then clearly differentiated between the physical evidence and the digital evidence, drawing attention to the significant transition from tangible forms of evidence to electronic and data-based evidence in the contemporary digital age. In this context, she briefly referred to the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and the Information Technology Act of 2000, explaining their relevance in governing digital investigations and evidentiary admissibility. Ma'am also elaborated upon the concept and admissibility of digital evidence, explaining the legal standards required for its acceptance in courts of law. To contextualize theory with practice, she referred to the Arushi Talwar case, highlighting the complexities and challenges associated with reliance on digital evidence in criminal trials. Ma'am also explained the core characteristics of digital evidence, describing it as fragile, volatile, latent, and time sensitive, thereby emphasizing the need for precision and expertise in its handling. She further provided an overview of major digital forensic disciplines, including computer forensics, mobile forensics, network forensics, cloud forensics, highlighting their growing importance in contemporary investigations. She further provided an overview of major digital forensic disciplines, also tracing the evolution of Indian law. Ma'am highlighted the shift from colonial legal frameworks to a digitally responsive legal regime capable of addressing emerging technological challenges. She also discussed initiatives such as e-Sakshya aimed at improving the collection and presentation of electronic evidence. The session then focused on emerging technologies impacting the digital forensics. She spoke about the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning, particularly in data analysis and pattern recognition, and addressed the increasing challenges of AI-generated content and deepfakes. She described blockchain technology as a double-edged sword, discussed the implications of cloud computing and the Internet of Things. Reference was also made to the Raghav pillars of forensics, emphasizing scientific rigor and legal reliability. A significant part of the lecture was also devoted to the need of balancing investigative efficiency with individual privacy rights. Ma'am discussed the Digital Personal Data Protection Act and the landmark Justice K.S. Puttaswamy judgment, reaffirming privacy as a fundamental right. The lecture was then followed by an engaging question and answer session, during which participants raised insightful questions relating to the authentication of digital evidence in the courts, conviction based solely on the digital evidence, mandatory training for investigating agencies, safeguarding personal data stored on cloud platforms, detection of AI generated and deepfake content, Ma'am responded to these queries with clarity and depth. Following the expert session, a vote of thanks was delivered by Mr. Prashant Pandey, who expressed gratitude to the resource person, organizers, moderators, and participants for their valuable contribution in making the FDP successful. After a 30 minutes break, the second session of day two commenced, devoted to discussion and presentations. Mr. Azhar Ahmed emphasized that technological advancements must not outweigh the fundamental rights. Dr. Meena contributed valuable insights on the topic, followed by Dr. Srijan, who also shared his perspectives on the relevance of the concerned topic of the FTP. The sessions and proceedings of day two were formally concluded by Mr. Gaurav Yadav. In conclusion, day two of the faculty development program was marked by academic excellence, insightful deliberations, and meaningful engagement. The sessions provided participants with a comprehensive understanding of emerging technologies in digital forensics, evolving legal frameworks, and the evidentiary challenges of the digital age, while emphasizing the need to harmonize the technological progress with constitutional values. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for summarizing the proceedings of day two so effectively and systematically. We now move on to the expert session, which focuses on one of the most vital pillars of forensic science, forensic medicine and toxicology, an area crucial for criminal investigation and judicial decision making. We are honored to welcome Professor Dr. Anjani Singh Tomar, Professor of Law and Head, Center for Research in Criminal Justice Sciences, Gujarat National Law University. Dr. Anjani Singh Tomar has more than 19 years of experience in teaching law. She has, to her credit, more than 11 books and several Scopus listed articles. She has been an editor for the flagship journal of GNLU, the GNLU Law Review, for more than 15 years. A member of many academic bodies of prestigious universities, Dr. Tomar has wide experience in developing many courses. Her areas of interest include information technology, law of crimes, taxation laws, biotechnology law, etc. Being a first class student throughout, Dr. Tomar is the university topper at LLB honors and LLM programs and a recipient of 5 gold medals. She has an extensive experience in training senior IAS and IPS officers, judicial officers, and officers appointed by the state PCS and UPSC, covering various subjects, primarily including the law of crimes and technology laws. As a mark of our sincere gratitude and appreciation towards ma'am, we are delighted to present a virtual bouquet to our esteemed speaker.
Thank
A
you.
very warm
Thanks
welcome,
a lot.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Your words are sufficient for me.
Request Dr.
but still-
Anjani Tomar to kindly share your valuable knowledge and expertise with us. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good morning to all of you. I hope I am properly audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Fine. Thank you. So, first of all, a very, very happy new year to all of you. We are meeting in the inception of the year, and I must also forward and extend my gratitude, thanks to the organizers for inviting me for this FDP program and giving me this opportunity to interact with you and discuss with you all regarding the subject, which is of course it's a very dear and near subject to me, since Sudhir sir has asked me in respect to giving me a general understanding as to who I am as a student or as a scholar in the field of law. I'm actually basically a student of science, and I did my MSc in clinical biochemistry, and toxicology is one of the subject which we have studied as a part of the MSc program, and of course as a law student again, because you can see that the science is very much integratedly related with the law of crimes. So with this presentation and with this discussion and this lecture, I'll try to come up with whatever basic understanding I'm having for this subject, because like law, the studies of toxicology as well as forensic medicine is it's endless. So we see that number of advancements have been made in the present day, and still this study is actually, it's ever growing. So I have tried to make a small presentation as to how this particular aspect of forensic and toxicology is actually related with law. So I would appreciate the fact that if you can ask me questions in between, because it is something which the organizer and the respected anchor has already mentioned, that this is a faculty development program. So in fact, I'm also looking forward to develop myself with this program, and I'll appreciate to the fact that if there is anything which the participants would like to ask in between, they should not wait for the question answer session. They should actually ask me in between itself, right? So the topic which has been given to me is forensic medicine and toxicology. As I have already told you that I am a student of science and law. So I have tried to make this presentation with the with very limited knowledge that I have of both the field. And I would expect that in case if you have anything to ask in between, any participant will feel like, any of the respected teachers, they feel like that this is something which they would like to ask the question. So please stop me in between, don't carry your confusion, please ask me here and here itself. So let us discuss about the first part of it. What is the and I am also interested to get a feedback in between itself, whether this entire discussion that I'm making, whether it is clear to all the scholars, all the teachers, all the participants or not. So forensic per se, it's a science, right? And everybody is nowadays talking about forensics, because BNSS has actually made a little bit change, to the fact that forensics have been made a part of, essentially made a part of the criminal justice investigation. So my question to the participants would be that whether forensic investigation was not done earlier, or whether this is something which is an addition to what was existing in CRPC, has been added to BNSS. Any one of you can respond. Those who have joined online, they can definitely respond to me, that whether forensic has been, because I was listening to the report. I heard that yesterday you people have discussed. Okay, so there is Artha Shastra. Actually, sir, ma'am, I'm interested to know that because I as well was listening to the report presented for the earlier day. It has been mentioned that one of the respected resource person has mentioned that the forensic is now being used, and it has been mentioned in the law of evidence, that is BSA and BNSS. So to be clear, it is absolutely correct that BSA and BNSS is speaking about it. But yes. So Gaurav sir has responded that it's a part of CRPC also. It's absolutely correct. Forensic is definitely a part of the CRPC. What has been changed, that is in the reference to the victims of the sexual assault. Now, the forensic investigation is compulsory. It was happened in the previous CRPC also. What is the change? The change is that if any offense which is punishable with more than 7 years of punishment, now BNSS is making BNSS is making a mandate that forensic analysis of the crime scene should be made. Yeah, it is for, so Meena ma'am has also mentioned the same thing, that if the offense which is committed is punishable with 7 years or more, forensic investigation is mandatory. So the difference from the CRPC to BNSS in reference to the forensic analysis or forensic investigation is only when we are talking about it's being mandatorily done. I must tell you, last year I was a part of, I was invited by the Commissionerate Ahmedabad for discussion of the, for delivering a lecture on the conviction rate, because you know nowadays everybody is talking about conviction rates and how it can be related to the forensic analysis. And also forensic was not being given to me. It was like to discuss that what is the status of India when we are talking about conviction. So our present commissioner of Ahmedabad city, he explained very elaborately how when he was a part of CBI, how he has dealt with the problem related to the this fake currency coming from the neighboring states. And what he did was he has actually involved the main aspect of the cyber forensics. So I hope that you can understand that forensic is something which has been widely used, widely discussed. And as a student, I feel like I study forensics only when it is mandated to me, while it is a part of BNSS, or while it is a part of some sort of a article that I'm writing. But I really have very limited information. I'm talking about myself, right? So I have very limited information as to from where it has started or what exactly it is intended to. So I made this presentation accordingly. I thought that maybe there are more couple of students just like me. So I would like to deal with my presentation in the form of what exactly is forensics, because forensic medicine and toxicology, they are three different parts altogether. But I'll try to make up a combination of this with the law. So forensic actually is the word coming from forensis, which means public, and which means that something which can be made useful for the criminal justice system or for the courts. And thus we find that the forensic science is a science which is used for the purpose of law. So we can say that this definition may seems to be incomplete, or you may feel like that this is not the appropriate way. But what I have found, in with the due respect, that how the science has been inculcated in the or integrated with the studies of law, I can say that it is a science which is used basically for establishing something. The purpose is basically for the law only. So you may find that there are people who are called as forensic scientists, or the persons who are dealing with the forensics. So what exactly this person is? This is a person who is helping the criminal justice system to come up with the answers to some questions. Now my contention is that we are always talking about forensics or forensic scientists to be more associated with the criminal law. So is it possible that even for civil cases we can use the forensics? So can anyone answer me that yes or no, whether in civil cases, like civil cases is, we are more talking about personal, interpersonal aspects. So Gaurav sir has mentioned, ma'am, head of the department, ma'am has also mentioned that yes, it is possible. So yes, very good. So I see that most of the participants are aware of the fact that this particular thing is used. So ma'am has mentioned about handwriting, and Dr. Mohammed Kaf has also mentioned, Meena ma'am has also mentioned about the this thing. Good morning, Ben. So in fact, the when we talk about the civil cases are of also intertwined with a number of things. Like, so if I'll say that birth of a child. So the birth of a child, or we can say that relationship between husband and wife, है ना? These are all civil matters, but still you may find that there is a requirement of paternity, as Meena ma'am has absolutely mentioned it correct, that in case of, if you remember, I would like to cite you the case of Mr. Narayan Dutt Tiwari and Mr. Rohit Shekhar, if you remember. And it is very unfortunate that Mr. Rohit Shekhar is no more. He is also, he became a victim of crime again. But in this matter again, we see that forensics have helped a lot in order to understand. And one of the participant has mentioned about head of the department ma'am has mentioned that there is handwriting. So handwriting is also something which is related to civil matter, but it is used with the help of the we see that it is used by the forensics. So in fact, this is a term, criminalists and criminology. These are the two terms which I have taken from the American I'm so sorry. This is based from the US. I was studying day before yesterday that what happens to the terms which is used in other common law countries. So I was interested, I wanted to give you a comparative understanding of how things goes in India and how things goes in the other criminal law, the common law countries. So I find that these are the terms which are mostly used in US. There is a concept called as listics, and there is criminology, and there is, of course, we are also talking about law of crimes, right? So law of crimes is not related to criminology. It is completely different angle. So the scientific experimentation or examination of physical evidence for the legal purpose is done by the criminalistics, which is by the medical practitioners also. It is possible, or there is a possibility that the lawyers who are very well versed with the crime scene, they can also be involved into it. So the condition is that when we are talking about the scientific examination, it is not only limited to forensics. We have different ways of saying that criminology is looking to the psychological aspect of it. So Lombroso has given a theory that the features of a person also depicts that there is a possibility of a person to be identified as a criminal. So we see that the law of crimes is also using a number of things which is there. But when we talk about the forensics per se, the science, the people who are expert, they actually perform the test for what purpose? For the purpose of taking the evidences. So as yesterday you all have participated in this FDP and have seen that BSA is also talking about it, right? And the Indian Evidence Act is talking about it. We say that the relevance of an evidence, it's more associated with if it is supported by something which is given as a given by, supported by a forensic scientist, right? So we find that it helps us to resolve the legal issues. The when we are talking about being completely into the studies of forensics, we understand that it is something which is going to help the court of law to come to a conclusion. So there are various parts of it which we see that they are the forensics help in the analyzing the evidence from the police or crime scene. Then they understand, they support their report or their results, and then they provide testimony in the court. So we find that actually the forensics nowadays is variously discussed, variously involved. These are some of them. right? So you will see that I would like to quote the example of the suppose we are talking about the environmental science, right? So people like me who may have very limited understanding, they will say that how forensic is actually involved with the environment. So you must know about the cases of Mr. MC Mehta, right, versus Union of India. There are various cases, innumerous cases are there where we are talking about the where we are talking about the impact of XYZ activity over environment. So there again, the forensic experts have come forward, to let us know that when we are talking about Taj corridor, or the Taj Mahal, or we are talking about the impact on pollution on rivers. So the forensics experts have helped us. What do we see? The forensic experts are providing us their expertise in various fields. So these are some of the examples. I'm not saying that this is the only one. These days we are mostly discussing for cyber technology. We are also talking about something in relation to the type of crimes committed by AI, correct? So the forensics they are happening because if you remember recently in India, the digital arrest and digital warrants are being issued. We have seen that the fake videos of our honorable prime minister have been created, then the leader of opposition and the several celebrities. So the concern is that, say, suppose if it is committed by whom. So the cyber technology or the cyber forensics are helping us to identify that no one is actually the creator of it. Randomly AI has created it, right? So the forensic pathology, anthropology, entomology, psychiatry, they are going to help. In this presentation, I'm going to discuss with you the early aspect of how forensics was being used, from where it has come, and how all these things are going to help us in order to understand that forensic has become a very, very important subject or the science. So how geology is helpful? Can anyone tell me that how the geology is helping us for studying, or forensic experts are being dealing with geology? Any idea? I mean, it's not necessary that everyone in the FDP may be knowing for it. Yeah. So area or geography, as madam has complete, absolutely location. So which means that the geology is also it's a say suppose it's not only it is not only limited to the environment scientists these days. Rather than this, say suppose if I wanted to say that I belong to X state in the country, and X state is facing problem related to the water scarcity, right, or the mineral scarcity. So can I get it from the neighboring state Y, or can I have water from the neighboring state Y? Now this is something, yeah. Of course, Meena ma'am has also mentioned that recognition of substance. So I'm coming to that part. Geology is also going to help us to identify whether this type of, or this incidence has taken place in X place, Y place, Z place, as well as it is also going to help us to understand that the minerals which are taken from the X state will not suffice in Y state. So forensic is also going to help us with this. Voice sound spectrum, so which is, spectrography is basically used, because you must have noticed that the FSLs, forensic science laboratories, are also identifying as to the tapes or the phone recordings, right? So the phone recordings are also helping us to find out that whether this has been spoken by Anjani, or this has been actually created by an AI, whether this is her actual voice or not. So this actually help us a lot. But the first forensic science is reported, and as I told you that I have studied this subject as a part of my MSc, and then later on as a honors special, because in my alma mater, the medicine and law is a taught subject. So it has been taught to us, and by that time I recently, nowadays the resources are limited, and we find that sometimes the students are also more oriented towards the corporate law firms, corporate, they wanted to they want to make their careers in the corporate field. And in my time, when I was a student way back 20 years before, or student of law, the orientation for the law studies was towards the practice. We wanted to become judges, we wanted to become lawyers. So that time, I have studied it. So this information may be corrected, but this is based on the information I have taken as a student of science and law. So we say that it is something between 287 to 212 BC. it's a it's a very old science. It's not very new. So Archimedes, if you must have heard about the scientist who have come up with the principle of buoyancy, or eureka. This person was the person who has mentioned that I'm sorry, the crown was the crown that was being used by the king was not of gold, because of the fact that once there is a principle of buoyancy, we have a principle which says that if you emerge, or if you put a particular thing in water, the water is displaced. That water is equivalent, the displaced water's volume is equivalent to the thing that we have immersed in the water. So he could see that the gold must be very heavy, and this metal which is used for making the crown is something. So you can understand that I wanted to correlate it with the fact that it is also a type of forensic study, right? It is also a type of understanding where we still find, and I have used the term, relatively new area. So relatively new area means that we find that newer aspects of the forensics have been now come up. As I was telling you, what is the newest area is the cyber forensics, right? And I must say that we are blessed. I'm talking about students studying in Gandhinagar GNLU, that we are in the vicinity of NFSU, right? So it is now it is a institute of national importance. The NFSU, which is the one of the best laboratories, it is having one of the best laboratories in the country. It is having a very extended and very wide department of cyber forensics, where we have seen that even when the hard drive of a system is 80% damaged, scientists over here were able to come up with the gathering 50% of the information which is there in the hard drive. But still it is new. It is still new, because things have been changing fastly, and we find that the basic fact, or the basic journey of forensics has been started in 1800, where we have seen that the hair, blood, and fingerprints were used as an evidence. Rather than we see that there is scientists who have come up with this concept, and we have also seen one of the examples in the books written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who have served in Indian Army while we were in the colonial time, where he has used This is the basic understanding. As a student, I find that this presentation may be helpful to you. So you can see that this fellow is actually who? This is Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes' character is actually based on the concept of the scientist who have been actually Joseph Bell. Sir Joseph Bell was the, I'm sorry, Sir Joseph Bell was actually a professor of Dr. Watson, what is used there, because he was actually a medical doctor. He was a doctor in Indian Army. At that time, it was a colonial time. I'm talking to you. This person has seen his teacher Joseph Bell to understand that how he identifies the things. What were the integral aspects of him is like he observed a person very very carefully, and then he deduced. So this is one of the earlier examples that we see, that how forensics were being used in day to day life as well. Now when we come to the fact that how it has been actually used by people who help the law to identify the type of crime which is committed, who might be responsible for it. So we say that they use the evidences. So physical evidence has been used for interpretation, right? Now this interpretation is based on the knowledge that this criminalists have gathered for that particular area, right? So if any one of you is finding that there is a question, please ask me. And if you feel like this is going haywire, also please ask me back, to this discussion again. So so that I may not get deviated from my path. I should not actually become the interpreter. I wanted to deal with this topic. So when we talk about the physical evidences, there are scientists who help us for getting the useful information, and that is why the investigation or a trial will help us. So this is where we find that the interpretation makes a very very important aspect. So for an example, ballistics, right? So I was about to discuss about it. The ballistics is a science, it's a science dealing with the firearms that is used, and especially firearms, right? So the concept of arms, as far as the Arms Act is concerned, right? So we have the Arms Act of 1959. It is talking about two major types of arms. One is the firearms and the other, right? So I'm not talking about others, because knife is also there, agricultural tools are there, some of the specifically made sword or tridents. I'm not talking about it. Ballistics is mostly related to the firearms, and the gun which is used, what type of the bullet could be, cartridge could be. So that also actually help by the intervention of the forensics into it. So the importance of the people, those who are dealing with the forensics from the crime scene, is to interpret. As I was discussing this interpretation, right? So what type of this interpretation is? Interpretation is not the legal interpretation that we are looking for. We wanted to have their expert opinion, right? So is expert opinion a part of criminal justice system? Is expert opinion? Okay, so okay,
So,
Mini,
it is
Dr.
provided in
Komal,
OSA and
yes, Yes, Sudhir sir, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, ma'am, it is provided in the BSA Bharati Sachet name as expert opinion is an Indian.
Correct, sir. So I am a student of the old law as well as a new law as well. Section 45 to 55 of the Indian Evidence Act is talking about expert opinion, right? Which is now also reflected as a part of BSA. I seek your sincere apology because I am not been able to learn all the sections of the new laws. It's a task for me. Even my students are enjoying because they say, okay, the teacher is not yet well versed. But if you'll ask me, if you'll ask me in relation to the old law, I am. Criminalist is there, Meena ma'am. We do have a system in our criminal justice system which is called as the crime scene investigator. I'll tell you, Meena ma'am, from my best experience, the DGP, ADGP by that time, now sir is different in Vadodara, in the city of Vadodara. So the ADGP of Gujarat state is talking about, I'm sorry, एक minute, I'm sorry. So there is a there is a system of, there is a concept which the now our police officers are coming up, is to understand who is a crime scene investigator. I must tell you very honestly that in other common law systems we see that the crime scene investigators are appointed by the state, right? In India, the special training is given to police officers. So our that time when we started, as I was being introduced as head of the research center in criminal justice sciences, we have provided support. GNLU has provided support to Gujarat police in the form of a position which was created to understand only for the students of law of crimes. We are also offering LLM in the criminal laws, where these students are going to help the police for finding out that what are the vital aspects of the evidence, because this is what we are teaching in our PG classes. As you can understand, ma'am, that we have very short time in for the undergraduate students, because semester system is very concise. So we mostly deal with the overall aspect of what is law of crimes, what is law of criminal procedure, and law of evidence. But when we discuss about the yes, when we are discussing about LLM, we teach them integrate aspect of it, and we actually, I don't deal with that subject. We, and none of the teachers here deal with it. We call experts from the field. So there is there is a possibility of calling the senior police officers. And sometimes, as a matter of fact, as a we are teaching police law, right, Meena ma'am? So in GNLU, and we take our students to police department. Since you can understand LLM may, we do not have a very big batch. So we get students which are handful of students, 15-20 students at the max. So we take them to the crime scenes, to the police officers, where they explain that what is crime scene investigation. So we do have a system in India, but it is majorly covered by whom? By the police. Okay, so this is the majorly this is the police officers only. And we have in place, like we find that we find that the crime scene investigators is slowly and gradually developing in the in India as well. So we find that criminalists are helping finding out the human nature, law, science, and how do they interact with each other. You will also see that nowadays, the very famous case of black buck, which has involved a number of people, and not only black buck but also killing of the protected animals in our country. The wildlife forensics has been used, and there has to be, we need to see it is possible. Yeah. We have legal provisions for in BSA, and we also find that the now, I can only speak on behalf of the place that I am basically belong to. So in Gujarat, we see that police is very much keen to come up with the help of crime scene investigators, and the Gujarat police is making a lot of efforts in this direction, and we see that they are majorly involving people who have the understanding of law. Because basically this is to understand what are the major in fact, I would like to share with you that the question which the I'm sorry, which is like, as I was talking to you, that I went to Ahmedabad, the commissionerate program, the main question that was discussed there by some of the participants, senior police officers, was that they asked me, in fact, essentially to identify what are the major mistakes which happen during investigation so that the conviction rate is less. In fact, Gujarat Police has also given us a project. They were in the pipeline of giving us a project, but it was very unfortunate that we faced the tough time of pandemic, and we were not being able to come up with this, because the police is facing a really difficult time in order to see that what all is essential, to pick up from the crime scene, and what all essential things are there that will help their investigation fruitful. So they wanted to have an expert opinion from the academics, from the students of criminal law, who can understand that, these are the loopholes which lead to less this conviction rate. Now we see that along with the concept of, along with the people who are dealing with the only animals, right, or people dealing with only crime scene, we also see that there are people who are dealing with the pathology. So who is a pathologist, or who is a person who's dealing with it? It is the study of science. So pathology is also going to help us with a number of things, where they are performing, where the experts are performing autopsies, they are determining the cause of the unnatural situations, and also the circumstances. I must tell you, there is a very famous case of Anant Anant Chintaman Anant Chintaman Lagu versus state of Bombay. This is an old case of 1950s, if I'm correct, it is of 1952. Please, you may also look for it. In this case, the court has discussed about the in case where the poison was administered, circumstantial evidence is sufficient to prove that the X is responsible for this crime, right? So it is not, we still say that forensic is a new science, but still you will find that forensic actually help circumstantial evidences to be converted into concrete evidences. Because I think yesterday you must have studied, right, you must have studied that when we talk about the evidence can be, variously, it can be variously classified. Okay, I'll discuss with you what is an inquest report. So the evidence per se, when we talk about this, the it can be direct, right? It can be indirect, it can be circumstantial. I apologize. It is circumstantial, right? And out of which, as a law of evidence, that the direct evidence is the oral evidence, which is the best one, right? But when the circumstantial evidences are the only one which is there, one of the example could be the sexual offenses, correct? तो क्वेश्चन आता है ना, इन केस when I am usually teaching law of crimes to second year students in GNLU, and second year students means the student too is completely full of curiosity. He has a number of things. He has seen a number of dramas on OTTs. He has seen number of movies for related to law of crimes, and he has no idea about what is evidence, correct? So the question when I teach the offenses related to the sexual offenses as mentioned under now section 63, section 64, 65, 66, 67 of BNS, previously section 375, 376 onwards, 354A, 354 IPC. So the question comes in the mind of the student that why circumstantial evidences can also lead to punishment. It is because of the fact that in all these offenses, it is supported by the forensic evidence, correct? So when we talk about the autopsies, the autopsy, as Meena ma'am has asked me this question, that what is inquest, right? So in fact, the inquest is only done in the cases where there is a suspicious death, right? So previously it was mentioned under section 174 CRPC, where the police report is created or it is made, finally it is made for the people, those who have died in a very, very, in very suspicious circumstances. So inquest report is actually made by police with the help of experts to know the exact cause of death, correct? And this inquest is very, it is very technical, because suppose if as a police officer you receive an information that there is a dead body found on a very open space, or on a any other place which is not which is undisclosed place. So as such, what steps as a police officer you should take? You should inform it to the DM. You should take permission from the magistrate which is there, right? So that report will give you an idea. As a police officer, you are going to give a conclusive report to the magistrate who is having the jurisdiction that, sir, this is my opinion based on the evidences, based on the forensic understanding, or based on the expert's opinion, that this is a case of suicide. No, sir, this is a case of animal bite. No, sir, this is a case of heart attack, whatever it is. But when we are talking about autopsies, so autopsies are done mostly where police has suspicion, right? Or where the family members are asking, right? Where it has been actually asked by the court to conduct. Like I'll give you one of the examples, ma'am. Every one of us has heard about Arushi murder case, right? Arushi Talwar. Okay. Now, if you remember the initial investigation, right? So the initial investigation of Arushi Talwar stated that police, Delhi establishment police by Delhi police was of this opinion that Hemaraj, who is the house aide, he is responsible for this death or this murder, not death, murder. 2 days after the body of Miss Talwar was discovered, the dead body of Hemaraj was also found in the same premises, correct? Now, how Hemaraj was killed, how Arushi was killed, they have to conduct the autopsy. They need to conduct the autopsy in such cases. Why? They wanted to ascertain that for Arushi, it was clear that her neck was slitted. For Hemaraj, because initially they stated that it is Hemaraj who killed Arushi. But later on, by the autopsy of Hemaraj, it was very much clear that the same weapon which was used for Arushi has been used for him. Correct. So which means that it is not necessary that it will be a inquest report. It will be a report given under section 173 CRPC, which is the Chalan or police report, which is now section 193 of BNSS. Correct. So there is a difference, but forensic pathologies are also responsible for coming up with not only the diseases, because we find that sometimes the diseases is also, yeah, Chachi, you're absolutely correct. So the diseases are also responsible for, killing someone. So forensic pathologists are help us the collecting the evidences for the criminalist to analyze. So we find that what the person's medical history is there, why this person was doing. So forensic pathologists recognize also the type of the disease which is occurring, or discover the faulty consumer products which is there. So in fact, when we talk about, if you remember, ma'am, and all the participants, we have Sunita Narayan, heard about her? Who was she? Sunita Narayan is the CEO of the NGO that is taking care of the environment, right? And she's basically known for the Pepsi Cola case. Do you remember that she was the one who has filed a case in the court stating that the Coca-Cola company that is manufacturing Pepsi in India does not follow the same standard. Rather, the Pepsi is having a higher level of this insecticides which is used in India, for the manufacturing. So if you remember that the entire Pepsi plants were closed. So it's a bit old case, bit old in a sense that maybe 2 decades, 1.5 decade must have 15-16 years early cases there. So how they actually help this is with the help of that the Pepsi has led to the consumption of the Pepsi cold drink has led to a number of problems in the teeth, in the intestine, and in the digestive system of the of people belonging to certain age group, belonging to certain situations, like they might have a medical history. So forensic pathologies are also helping us to correct when it comes to Consumer Protection Act, right, or the rights related to consumer. So it's not always necessary that everyone will be having only crime as one of the factor responsible, but it can be something else as well. So forensic anthropology is also one of the very important factor, one of the very important science which is used. So what is anthropology? The anthropology is a study of humans, right, or the human society, etc. So my question to you is, have you seen any example where forensic anthropology has been used in the past? Yeah. Meena, are you aware of the fact that can you recall any place where it has been used? Yes, ma'am. So any example if you can give me, where the forensic anthropologists have been used or are being called. I apologize for using the word used. My concern was where forensic anthropology has been used in order to give you the understanding of it. Yes, absolutely correct, sir. This is an Indian case where in case of Nithari. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So Gaurav sir has also mentioned, Mohammed Kaif sir has also mentioned where this, but the famous case which is involved, this is there, the has been used in the Twin Tower. So this is one of the example. Whatever you are saying is absolutely correct, but that has been where we have seen that the forensic anthropologists per se. If I'll say that I wanted to, start or to give you an idea as to from where we initiated this thing, it's in the Twin Tower case, because you understand that it was very difficult from the dead bodies which were recovered from these places to identify who's who, right? Actually, Radha has mentioned about Radha madam has mentioned about Nirbhaya case. So, ma'am and sir, where you are talking about Nithari and you are talking about the cases, we are Nirbhaya case. Anthropology is is basically used where. Yeah. So, as Meena ma'am has mentioned, that there is a rail accident case in Odisha. So, anthropology is trying to come up with the linkage, to family, or to give a face, or to give a Balasore, right? So, where you will find that this is not in relation to a particular incidents like Nirbhaya. I would like to say that forensic experts were used also for finding out what type of a crime has been, how the crime has been committed with that. Yes, Godhara also one of the examples is that. But see, the thing is, what we have a case in nearby in Ahmedabad itself, which is Naroda Patia. This is a case of Naroda Patia. We have also used it, as I could now see Dr. Brajesh is there. So when we are looking to unidentified bodies, or bodies in a completely mutilated state, right? So I am admitting all people. I think this right has been given to me. So anyways, so when I so Gaurav ji, this is what I was trying to tell you, that the first instance of finding out the anthropologist, forensic anthropologist being used, it is used in the case of the Twin Towers, right? Nirbhaya case, we can't say that anthropologists have been used, because we already know that she has been related to X and Y, who are her parents, X and Y way that she has been put to such horrific situation. So anthropologists are going to help us in those situations where, as Meena ji has mentioned about the Balasore incidents, right? Train accidents, Godhara, Naroda Patia, where Bombay blast cases, right? But this is the case where we have found most of the cases where we see that this is used. Now we are also using the concept of forensic engineers. So forensic engineers are using the concept or the science of engineering, which is helping us to identify the civil suits and also in the criminal suits. Like for an example, that when the fire start, how does it start? If you remember, we have a case of Upahar cinema. Anybody remembered that case? Yes. So, Upahar cinema case, as I can see, that, yes, exactly. Fire tragedy that has taken place in Delhi, where the Ansal, the Ansals who were the manufacturers, who were the constructed Ansal Plaza, was also been involved. You might have seen that the fire broke, right? So how do you find out that this is the cause of it? And recently there is a case of this Rao's ICS, right, in Delhi, for the where the incidents has taken place. Right. So these are, as mentioned, that yes, it is in this coaching institute, right? So this is the coaching in Delhi, है ना, for the UPSC. The question is, how can we say that it is the responsibility of the organizer or the person who is actually involved with the institution? So the forensic engineers are helping us to find out that this is the faulty this construction, this is the faulty fire permission being given, etc., etc. So you will find that the forensics have gone to a level where we are being, exploring new and new things, right? Sudhir sir, how much time do I have for the lecture?
Yes, ma'am,
12:30?
around 45 to 50 minutes.
Sorry, sir?
45 to 50 minutes, ma'am.
More. I can finish it by 12:15,
Ma'am,
sir?
we can continue till 12:30.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank
And
you, sir.
ma'am, you can take extra time. There is no issue for that.
Ji, sir. No, actually, sir, as you understand, sir, we are of the same,
Yeah.
understanding, same field. Teachers, when they get the chance to speak, they'll not stop, right?
Yeah.
And we usually, this is the problem that we also face in our homes, that if a person who's a teacher, he or she will start speaking now, so then other will say ki bhaiya band ho jao, this is not your lecture. And I don't want to, bore all the participants of the FDP, and that's why I would like to finish on time. So, and I will be more interested, as I stated.
Ma'am, it is as
You
per
wish,
your
you can also
convenience.
ask me
The scheduled time is 12:30.
ठीक है sir. So I will try to finish by that time. So psychiatrists, forensic psychiatrists are also there, which are actually giving the understanding as to what will be the reason for it. Now, the document examiner, I wanted to really discuss with you a very, very interesting case when it comes to the document this examiner. We always see that document examiners are mostly the handwriting experts, correct? But now that is not so. Document examiners are also investigating documents, material, paper, ink, ribbon, etc., etc. I hope that you people have heard about accounting forensics. Have you heard about it? This is maybe because I am dealing with this subject. It may be okay. So it may be new to me, but it's not very new. Accounting forensics has been now employed to deal in the matters related to the accounts or the ledger book. Right? So what is it? What is a ledger book? It is having a P&L account. So profit and loss account, which is there. So where we are talking about finding out, the accounting forensics is helping us to come up with the questions that is related to whether there has been the economic fraud or anomalies. So one of the example I would like to tell you that what the CAs are doing, PricewaterhouseCoopers, or which has been also named in the criminal case of Satyam. Right? So we have seen that the Abdul Karim Telgi, I would say that Abdul Karim Telgi, capsir, has actually taken care of this narco analysis, right? Which is different from this, because he agreed just on the lighter side of the fact that Abdul Karim Telgi, you will believe, you please go through the facts of the case. He himself offered police that I would like to go for a narco analysis test, because his case is contemporary to that case of Selvi versus state of Karnataka, right? Where in the Selvi case, it has been mentioned by the High Court that you can't force a person. This is violative of Article 20 of the Indian Constitution, that the one person has been forced to give evidence against himself, self-incrimination. But Telgi was ready to give narco analysis test because he said that it is not me. I am not the mastermind, right? It was very unfortunate that the court have not admitted the test. It is very unfortunate that he could not stand and give his own statement in the court. He died in as an under trial, right? So, document examiner, I would like, you will not be surprised. I'll tell you that we are mostly dealing with these. We mostly understand that a person might be involved in finding out whether in the cases related to letters. So in the cases related to letters, right, wills or contracts, up to everything is contracts and other things are being online, so you can see it. But I would like to quote you two cases. Document examiner, not directly related to it, but it has been seen. Have you heard about the Panama paper case? Okay, so I think that some of you might have just a moment. So Veena ma'am has mentioned, yeah. Gaurav sir has mentioned that it is, So the Panama paper cases have also included the Pakistani Prime Minister by that time. Who was that? Yeah, it's a paper leak case. It is actually Panama paper case has been investigative journalism adopted by Indian Express journalists, right? Where they have mentioned as such people from India and Pak as well, right? So that time the Prime Minister of the yes, Mosaic Fonseca. Yes, correct. So, Azhar Ahmed sir has mentioned, and also Gaurav sir has mentioned about what exactly this Panama paper is. I would like to quote you how document examiners were actually involved in the real cases. So, in this case, what has happened was that Madam Mariam Sharif, Mariam, and was also made guilty along with Nawaz Sharif. The paper and Nawaz Sharif has to resign, and then he was being prosecuted and he was sent to jail, right? In Pakistan, this has happened. Now, the daughter of Mr. Nawaz Sharif was also implicated into the same case. And the document which was presented in the court of law saying that she was also related was in the Calibri. You remember na what is Calibri? Calibri is a theme font for Word document, right? Yeah. So, Gauravji, I think that I should not speak about them because otherwise, the meeting is being recorded. Let's talk about what has been brought to the broad daylight. So, in case of the daughter of Mr. Nawaz Sharif, the document that was presented were in Calibri, correct? The relation, the Calibri theme font has come in the year 2009. And the paper which suggested that she was responsible for creating a shell company outside was somewhere in 2003, 2004, right? So while it was found that her father was actually involved into it, she was not involved because the document over which she has made a signature was prepared in Calibri. So how it was made clear to the judicial system there, It's by the document examiner. Now coming to India, this is one example which I have taken it from the neighboring country. Now I'll give you another, and there are n number, as ma'am has mentioned that there are many examples in America. I 100% agree with you, ma'am. I just wanted to give you a nearby example so that you can easily correlate it. Second example is, how many of you have heard about Vyapam? Vyapam case. I'll just try to get some space because I want to write, So, okay. So I could see that there are a number of people who have quoted for that they know. No, Meena ji, it's from MP. It is from MP. Yeah. It is, it is related to all those things which you have mentioned. But in fact, the Vyapam case is related to the corruption in entrance examination to the professional studies. Now, as you know, that before making up of the Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh is the largest state, correct, of the country. All those things, and in 2000, the Chhattisgarh has been separated from Madhya Pradesh, correct? So it has been suggested that this case is from 1993 to somewhat 2013-14. Please correct me. It continued for years, decades, Vyapam. So in Madhya Pradesh, there is a Vyavsayik Shiksha Mandal, Vyavsayik Shiksha Board, where if you wanted to take admission in any professional course, you have to get through the Vyapam examination. After getting the marks, nowadays, if you remember, nowadays every university is taking admissions through the common admission test, which is a CAT, or somewhere it is called as CET. But in Madhya Pradesh, this is a old practice. This is a very old practice, that if you wanted to go into medical, or you wanted to go in engineering, in the architect, you have to go through the examination conducted by the Vyavsayik Shiksha Mandal, Vyavsayik Shiksha Board, which is called as Vyapam. So this is the name of the board. Now, the Vyapam controversy was that some of the allegedly involved corrupt officers, they started making the reality to Munna Bhai MBBS Part 1 movie, where now this is very, very difficult for us to understand whether crime has led to a movie or movie has led to a crime. So this is something like whether it is the egg comes first or the hen comes first. That's sort of a thing. So just on the lines of, if you all of you must have heard about the movie plot of Munna Bhai MBBS Part 1, where the teacher himself, who has made the studies over, like who is a doctor, is not sitting to give the examination. So Vyapam was actually on the same line, and it was being done in a very, very organized way. You will not be surprised if I'll tell you that it was a document examiner. It was the case where the yes, Gauravji, I will take up your question. Gauravji has asked me this question, that regarding the Epstein file, an ongoing quest for full transparency in a complex case called as DNA analysis trace evidence examination. They play a pivotal role in resolving unresolved aspects like victim corroboration. It's absolutely there, sir. But I would like to just give you a very brief. I understand that we also have to cover toxicology. I'll fastly cover this Vyapam case. We invited in 2018, we had a international conference organized in GNLU where we have invited even people coming from the FSL. So Delhi FSL expert who was involved in the team for finding out how the Vyapam case was disclosed, she elaborated us that by examining the ink, of the people who used to sit in the examination hall, and the ink of this admit card which is issued by Vyapam, that they could make it out that it is a type of what? It is a type of the fraud which has been done, which is, as you can understand that all of you are aware that suppose if I have to give a UPSC examination, then I have to fill up a form for which the UPSC is going to issue me an admit card. UPSC at the same point is going to issue another admit card which will be given to the invigilator. So say suppose if GNLU is conducting UPSC examination at certain point of time, the entire sheets will be given to GNLU as well. So when I am sitting here, the invigilator will come and he will see my admit card and will also make an entry in the admit card file which is given to him directly provided from the UPSC. There was a difference of ink from the admit card issued to by the Vyapam to the invigilator, that is to the individual centers, and to the individual student. Now you can understand, either all the students should have the same ink forensic, or either it should be, there should be absolutely no either. It is like the ink or the admit card should be issued at the same point of time, but that was not happening. Only few students were having a different ink, right? So the Delhi FSL team, they make a examination of the ink. They did a forensic study of the ink and found that these were issued for only few people. And who issued it? Because that was not directly coming from the Vyapam office, that is coming from the parallel office which is created by the officers of Vyapam, and then they were issuing it. So from there, the entire case was brought to the daylight, and we have seen that it was very horrifying. It is, if I'll tell you the facts, the facts suggest that there are confirmed 69 deaths in the case, confirmed, that's official. And one of the person who died in the entire incident was the son of the then governor of Madhya Pradesh, who was found hanging from the fan of a hotel room. So you can understand it's very horrifying. But the thing is ki whatever corruption these officers have done, it was even more horrifying because it continues for decades. So a very deliberate and very genuine student has lost, so many students have lost their position. So anyway, I come to the question of Gaurav ji, where he has asked about the DNA analysis, trace evidence examination, and anthropological identification remains a pivotal role. Yes, absolutely, it is there, sir. As Gaurav sir has asked me about the DNA analysis, so I would like to quote you the recent case, recent case of this Sheena Bora murder case. Sir, have you heard about it, Gaurav sir? Sheena Bora murder case, for which Indrani Mukherjee, her mother, was is the main culprit, plus Peter Mukherjee. Peter Mukherjee, the stepfather for for this deceased, right? So, okay. So Gaurav sir must be aware of it. Sheena Bora murder case has been able to come to the light, or it has seen the daylight, only because there was a forensic evidence being done. So if you know, Gaurav sir, I would like to cut short the case, the matter, right? Because most of you are already aware of this. But Sheena was the daughter of Indrani Mukherjee, who had this lady Indrani Mukherjee, this is for those people who are not aware of this case. Indrani is the mother of Sheena, correct? And Peter is father of Rahul, some Mr. Rahul. Yeah. So what has happened was that Indrani was not interested to let people know that Sheena is someone who is her daughter. And Peter could not stop his son Rahul to be romantically involved with this girl, right? So we see that yeah. So you're absolutely correct, sir, that Rahul was related as a step brother to it. But it was very unfortunate that this information was not there with Rahul, right? Or Peter. So Peter was okay. Rahul was okay. Who was not okay is this lady. Sheena was okay for the relationship. Now, what one fine day, what these two people have done. So Indrani instigated Peter that I do not want to have this relationship with Rahul. Sheena, who happens to be allegedly her sister, right? So the Indrani Mukherjee has addressed Sheena as her sister, and if you might have noticed that there is a documentary available on Netflix where she admits that Sheena, she do not wanted to disclose the relationship of Sheena to anyone because Sheena is born out of a rape, right? So she does not wanted to disclose it to anyone, that as she was ashamed of this incident, this crime committed against her, and she has always treated Sheena as some person who is of the same age group or same understanding. So Indrani being not very happy with the relationship of Rahul Mukherjee and Sheena, she instigated her husband that they should kill Sheena. So they took her, they intoxicated her, and they took her to a jungle. And there, in an unconscious state itself, they burnt her. Right? Rahul found that 3 days have been over, 3-4 days were gone, and he could not get to Sheena. So he informed it to police that my friend is missing. If you can investigate. Police then found the driver of Mr. and Mrs. Mukherjee to be a little bit, in a state of giving the answers. So he took them to the jungle where only femur was found, one bone, one or two bone, because as you understand that after burning of the body, it is very difficult for the experts to come up with finding out the DNA analysis. So in that case, Gauravji, in case of Sheena Bora murder case, it was police who has given that particular bone for the forensic analysis, DNA analysis, and after that it was clear that Sheena is biological daughter of Miss Indrani Mukherjee, and the entire story then it was clear. So I hope that I have answered your question, that even trace evidences, trace DNA evidences are also being used in order to find out that how one crime has been actually created or has been yeah. So as Meena ji has rightly mentioned, Naina Sahani, I would like to inform that Naina Sahani murder case, or which was more or less known as Tandoor scam or Tandoor case, There, the in 2000, Amar Mani Tripathi is something else. Amar Mani Tripathi is in where the DNA analysis has been done, of course. But in Tandoor case, way back in 1995, 1995, if I am correct, the date is 2nd of July, where the first ever case in Indian history, Indian criminal justice system, where DNA analysis has been made is in the case of Naina Sani, right? So that is in the reference to the question which Gauravji has asked me. And Naina Sahni or Tandoor case is the first case ever, DNA analysis, right? And now I would like to cover the understanding of what is a toxicology. So toxicologist, I will try to, because this is still a part of forensics only. So toxicologists are also helping us a lot to find out in a certain case. So forensic toxicologists are also used, right? So you will say that, okay, thank you, Gauravji. So we find that the forensic toxicologists are also involved. Like for an example, the questions which is related to, the cases where the medicines are not been given. Like for an example, if I will tell you that there is a case of fish curry. Heard about this case? Recently इसके ऊपर कुछ मूवीज भी बनी है. फिश करी recent case, where the where person has given poison to yes, so Dr. Leena has suggested that she's aware of. Now this fish curry case in which the in-laws perturbed from the behavior of the in-laws, the one person, she decided to kill everyone in the family. So slowly and gradually some sort of cyanide was being given in the food. Right? So how it was clear to the police officers or to the criminal investigators that it is a result of the some sort of the thallium cyanide. Thallium, I think it was used in this case, where the toxicologists have been able to find it out that yes, slowly and gradually it has been consumed by the person. Sometimes the question comes into the legal cases, legal trials, is about the drugs that is being used. You don't have this understanding that some research institutions don't, that in India the drugs are not tried, or clinical trials, illegal clinical trials have been taking place. We have seen a number of cases in the past where the scientists, the doctors, medical practitioners, they are using some sort of drugs for this. Yeah, chicken curry law has been, that case has created for that sake, and there are number of adaptations have been made to it, ma'am. So you will find that this case has been like taken up, adapted by many drama people. But this is very horrifying, because it's difficult for us to understand whom to believe, whom not to. So in cases where the drugs have been used for clinical trials, or say suppose if my client has died because of the overdose given to him by a certain hospital, I can request for the forensic toxicologists to come and give me an understanding as to whether they are being my client has been given an overdose. Similarly, forensic dentists. So this is a extreme useful branch of forensics, where you must have seen that in order to find out the cases of sexual assault, only assault, in cases of homicide, we usually compare the dental marks which is there. Sometimes it is also seen in some cases that in order to identify that, in order to prove that my client is actually not guilty, I can also ask the forensic dentist to say that whether the bite marks on the body parts of the victim has been taken from my client only. It can be simply created also. So this is where the terrorist activities are there, missing persons are there. We can take the help of the forensic dentist also, and it has been done majorly, if you see as a student of criminal law, I can tell you, I can give you various examples in which the rape victims or assault victims have been identified in India with the help of finding out the bite marks which has been there on the body of it. So the specialists are also involved in speech, which are identifying the voice patterns. So sometimes, we get this information that I got a scamster's call, and he was talking just in the voice of my mother or my daughter, and I could not understand. I felt become a victim. Bankers have been calling. So you can easily give that voice sample to the forensic experts, and they can come up with the thing that no, it has been created by AI. So nowadays we see that some sort of previously, the people who can mimic humans, who can come up with, and there are so many artists there these days, but now those artists works has been now performed by the AI. So you can see that computer analysts, ballistic analysts, marine scientists, they are also some of the examples where they are using the science of forensics for getting. So this is the an example where you will find photography unit, documentary examinations and all. So you will see that the some of the places where this I have skipped. So he is regarded, Mr. Locard, Edmond Locard has been professor of in France, has been recorded as the first person for the forensics, who has mentioned that whenever two objects come with contact with each other, there's always a transfer of material. So I'll fastly go to, I'll finish this and I'll go to I have tried to make it okay. So the admissibility of the evidence was one of the question that has been there. So you can see in 1923, this is a case from United States. As I was telling you that I was looking to the history also, you will find that in the Freya standard, the case has been taken where it does not actually give the guidance or reliability. It is only used that we have taken general opinion, because the expert opinion is always taken as a corroborative evidence. But with the forensics coming into it, it has become final or determinate, right? So this is one of the case. And there is another ruling of 1993 case in which the judge can decide as to the evidence whether entered into the trial or not, and these are it. So any one of you can give me idea as to section 135 Indian Evidence Act. What is it? Section 135 Indian Evidence Act. Meena ji or Gaurav ji can look and tell me what is 135 Indian Evidence Act. Admissibility of the
It's ma'am about the court discretion regarding the admissibility.
Yeah, it is admissibility, sir, which
Yeah.
is talking about what? The admissibility as to the any no, not examination of witness. It is about the admissibility of
Yes.
a particular evidence, correct? Who decides it in India? Judge. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Gaurav ji, if you please see
Absolutely
the
correct.
admissibility of a
Ma'am
evidence
is talking
is
about the
decided by, so this rule actually, it actually gives the same liability as to judge. So what will be the admissibility of a relevant evidence? It is dependent on whom? Is dependent upon the court, right? Yeah, it is. It is actually applied in certain cases. Daubert rule, as Meena ji is writing in the chat box, it's absolutely correct. So we find that the expert opinion is this, which I have already discussed with you, and there can be there can be different aspects related to it, and it is an endless thing. Yeah, Aruna Shanbag case is also where we have applied, but Aruna Shanbag case euthanasia ka case nahi hai, where we have seen that the body of the victim was completely in a state where it was difficult for the okay. So it is 136, section 136. So I'll correct myself. 136 of the law of evidence, that is talking about Indian Evidence Act. I'm sorry, not the law of evidence, Indian Evidence Act, section 136. Sir, you can please cross check it, which is talking about what? The admissibility of a particular thing. Now we come to fast to understand what is the toxicology. So toxicology is initially, this is any book that you pick it up, any lecture that you attend of a toxicologist, he will say that it is a science of poison, right? It is something to study poisons, but in fact the understanding as far as we are concerned today, it is to understand the adverse effects of chemicals on the human body or on the body of the any living substance. So we see that toxicology is essentially a science of poison only, but now we are taking it something in reference to quantitative and qualitative study of adverse effect of any toxin which is used. So toxins is that we understand that it is a harmful substance. So toxic is where we are talking about poison per se, right? So you can understand that this is a case of there is a possibility, as Payal has mentioned, any biological agent. So it's not necessary that it will be a biological agent. So say suppose H2SO4 sulfuric acid is used in acid attack, like HCl, concentrated HCl, nitric acid, H2 SO4, or HNO3 nitric acid, HNO3, I'm sorry, H2SO4 sulfuric acid. So they are not biological, they're chemical. So toxicology is considered to be the youngest science of the poisons, and they are actually, toxicologists are involved in the recognition, identification, and quantitization of the hazard which is taking place. It also involves safety assessment, determination of the risk associated with the chemical. So you will find that these are the risk assessment which is done in it, and they find out what is the effect or what is the response, how the exposure situation has been there. So if we see what is a toxicology, it is the study of the adverse effect of a toxicant on a living thing. And adverse effect may be caused by any person. I'm sorry, any agent. I apologize. It's not person. Anything which is capable of producing or deleterious response in a biological system. It can be a living organism, as Payal has mentioned. It can be biological in origin. So there is a possibility that biological warfare, if we are talking about, like it has been stated that Pakistan is responsible of introducing chikungunya in India. Right? There are some reports which suggested. There are also some reports which suggested that COVID-19 pandemic was something which is a relation of conspiracy. Not know yet. There is no concrete evidence to prove it, but we can understand that yes, it can be a biological warfare. So living organism can also be introduced. So toxicology is like science, and it is also an art, which is a matter of fact, it is practice, right? So we understand that there are some chemical reactions which is taking place in the body, which can be physical also, which can be biological also, that is affecting the chemical reaction. So it can be hydrolysis, oxidation, photolysis. So say suppose if I'll say that my client is found dead in his room, where his room was is closed from inside. There is no window, there is no ventilator, there is no forced entry, but still I feel that my client has been subjected to murder. So it's because of the fact that after the analysis, forensic analysis is done, the matter is referred to the toxicologist. It was found that his body started giving him shocks. Why? Because of the presence of an allergen. What is that allergen present? The allergen is the cat's hair. some person has on purpose, made the cat hair, which is actually for which he was allergic to, correct? Made available in the room, who used to keep very, very, care not to have any external allergen being present in the room. But this person died because of the shock. And it can be proved that this biological substance, which is the hair of the animal, has proved to be an allergen, and as a result of which he suffered a shock and he died. So you can see that this is where it is a type of science where we study and we practice it in order to understand the effect of the toxins. So we see that what are the different fields of speciality in toxicology, and as I stated to you, this is based on my limited knowledge and my limited research. It can have a wide description as well. So you will find that the toxicology is descriptive, it's mechanical, regulatory, forensics, and yes, Gauravji, it is quite possible that if you would like to know from the autopsy, if you wish to know that, since you know this particular thing, now I'll tell you, there is a section 101 to जो कि लॉ ऑफ एविडेंस का चैप्टर है. Okay, so I'll come to Sudhir sir's question as well. Sir, I would like to take first of all what Gaurav ji was asking me. So
Yes,
we have of law of evidence, section 101 se we start, which is burden of proof.
Burden of proof.
Right? So we have section 106, Indian Evidence Act, and 105, right? So where we are talking about some specialized knowledge is there, or where the burden of proof will lie on some other person. My contention is this, that there is a closed room, right? And it was not found that there is a forced entry. There is the room was like, this is not a case of suicide. There is no burnt marks, right? There is no ballistic mark on the body of the deceased. So in the autopsy, I would like to know that what has actually happened to my client. It is easily disclosed, sir. We have a science of antibodies found in the dead body due to reaction from allergen. It can be easily found that this person has died because of the formation of antibodies in his body, and that allergen has resulted into death, right? Why? Death is caused because of the cardiac arrest, or it is caused by the shock to his heart, right? So you will see that this type of cases, it is easily available for us to find out that there may be a presence of an allergen. So आपके postmortem में it is easily disclosed to us. Now Sudhir sir has asked this question that in suffocation deaths, their injuries are minimal and multifunctional failures have happened, multifunctional things have been there. They are being able to tell us what is the cause of suffocation, or what is the cause asphyxia, what is called as asphyxia, right? Which is suffocation. So sir, it is very it has to be mentioned over here that whenever our opinion is given by a person who is a specialist, it is always taken with some sort of, as I stated to you, that it will be always circumstantial. It will be always based on what type of a facts being given to him or provided to him. So asphyxia is possible by using cloth, by using plastic cover. It can be used, it is also the cause of death during drowning, So if a person doesn't know how to swim, or if he get tired swimming, he will die because of asphyxia only, drowning. But then asphyxia or the suffocation is being able to, the forensic experts today, they are able to get you to the root cause of the death of a person. Why? Because you must have seen that the viscera, which is the internal body part, right? So internal body parts, they show a coloration. Correct, sir? So coloration, when it comes to asphyxia because of the plastic, it will suggest some of the molecules of the plastic are there in the mouth as well as the nasal cavity. Whereas if the suffocation is caused by water, the entire thoracic part of the deceased will have water filled in. Whereas if you are talking about the pillow are used or cloth is being used, the particles, fibers which is there, so we can definitely come up with the contention. And as far as the air quality is concerned, sir, it has been seen that the poor air quality leads to slow death of the people who have weaker respiratory system. So it can be easily found by the forensic experts in association with the toxicology. So as Meena ma'am has mentioned that the burden lies not on prosecution, it like, yeah, so 105 is about us only, a defense lawyer, about the person who is in the question. So he has to prove something. 106 is on the defense only. Section 106 Evidence Act. And as I said, you please, yeah, 105, 106 Evidence Act is talking about spatial knowledge. Section 106 is talking about spatial knowledge. So this spatial knowledge is not on anyone else, but it is on the on the person itself. Right. So there are a number of cases which we can discuss if time would provide. Since I'm already running short of time, so I will deal with the toxicology. One of the example is environmental toxicology. So we will say that there are characterization of the toxins or the chemicals that we see. Yes, Gauravji, the toxicology report of deceased person can always tell you, but asterisk applied, there are some sort of poisons which get assimilated in the body. So if I have to discuss with you, you will find that there are few toxins which are biological, right? They have a chemical reaction. Gauravji, have you heard about this belladonna plant, commonly known as dhatura? Right? So I'm just giving you one example. So you must have heard about the toxic nature of the plant called as dhatura, right? It is used in all type of medicine, sir. Homeopathy, it is used in allopathy. But belladonna seeds, right? These seeds have an impact of delusion on human mind. If taken in the, now as a student of toxicology, I can speak for it, like we all are. It is very, it becomes literally problematic to even to discuss these issues with with young minds, with the young fellows, right? Because they do not understand that, yes, I'll tell you, Gauravji, with very limited exposure to the field, to the practicing of law, I have seen some people are taking a definite quantity of belladonna seeds for intoxication, to get high, just on the lines of the bhang and ganja, cannabis hemp, right? So these are the biological substances that have chemical effect in human body. This is very much used for also killing someone. The delusion, if suppose a certain quantity of the seeds are being administered to a healthy human being, he will become delusionous, and ultimately lead to a very harmful impact on his body. There is a higher possibility that he may not survive because of the fact that these seeds, although they are having intoxicating effect, but intoxication to a certain extent that it will lead to major failure in the body. So we see that the toxins have acute effect and chronic effect. Chronic effects may lead to the concentrations over a long period of time, and a person ultimately die. Acute effect are severe. So a certain amount being taken, so toxin, so we will say that the antidotes prepared for snake bite, snake poison. I hope some of you must have been students of science, must have known that how the antidotes to snake poison is prepared. Is anyone aware of it? So, okay, so a number of people have replied. Yes, through the venom of snake, but through what medium, sir? Cap, sir. It is actually the horses which are there in the army, in the police. They are healthy, but they are retired. They are not into active service. Right? They are taken, and some small amount of poison like this chronic, है ना. हम ये नहीं कह रहे that they should die. We are preparing antidotes by making antibodies. So small amount of small amount of the snake venom is given, where the body are preparing the antidotes. So this chronic effect and acute effect it's really serious. It is really serious. These are some of the definitions which we use: toxicity, toxin, toxicant, right? And the entry of toxicants is point sources, like waste disposal. Divedi sir was asking about air. So air is also non-point sources are agricultural waste, contaminated groundwater, urban discharges. So we don't see them usually coming. So these are the toxins which are there. All type of pollutants are there, which is there. And we also find that the chemicals can be major type of toxins which is used. They may lead to carcinogenic, mutagenic, and teratogen, which means that they are non-hereditary, congenital, rubella, dioxins, endocrine disruptors. So we have seen that hormone mimic. Sometimes you might find that the drugs given in the as a form of the hormone treatment seems to be not taken by the body. So it's always it's the hormonal treatment, or the what it is called as the hormonal treatment is known by some other name. What is it? Anyone can help me? The hormonal treatment, medical. I'm not. It's not been clicking to me. But the treatment which is given at the through hormones, it is a double-edged sword. So you will find that it may disrupt the endocrinology. So we find that the factors which influence a toxin is exposure, dose, and the response of body. So we find that the exposure can be acute, subchronic, and chronic, whereas the amount is also something which is very, very important, and the response of a human body is also very important, right? And as I stated to you, that toxins can be also used in case of animals also. Toxins are also used for plants, so that is also one of the factor. So risk is that probability that harm will occur under specified condition, but the safety can be that we should be very careful for the specified conditions. It has been stated that don't give it to children, keep it out from the sun, so like that. So which are considered as risk are this. We can just look to economic consideration, its use in environment otherwise. So factors considered as risk is this. I'll try to just conclude. And major factors which impact is this. toxicology, and the response is intravenous, intradermal, topical, inhalation. So what is intravenous? Arteries and veins. Arteries we can't see, we are aware of veins, right? So someone is injecting it directly in the vein. Inhalation by the respiratory system. Intradermal, over the body. So say suppose the sulfuric acid is used, which is a acid attack. So it is intradermal. Topical, submuscular, subcutaneous. Subcutaneous is where it is in between the upper skin layer and flesh, but above the bones. So the number of things are there, and it's a very interesting science, toxicology. It helps us to understand a number of things. If a student of law of crimes is aware of toxicology, if it is well versed in toxicology, I mark my words, he will be a very good lawyer and he will be a very good judge to the matters which come to him as a matter of fact to decide crime. Okay, so I think I have been to the various. There are so many things which. Okay, you have a question, Gauravji. Considering the Malda student case where a second autopsy was directed on the legal and forensic threshold that must be met before reopening a post-mortem, especially when the decomposition may compromise. Okay, see, sir, when we are talking about the autopsy, the autopsy needs to be strictly made. I'm so sorry. Autopsy, right? Okay, so autopsy. It has to be essentially on the instructions of a magistrate or court. I will tell you, sir, there is a unreported case of a soldier of army personnel employed in deployed in the Indian Army. He was shot dead by two goons, two local rowdies, and that case has been taken as a case of as a case of accident or the accidental firing case. The after 17 years, I don't remember, I apologize to you, after 17 years of the matter, this case was reopened. So what is required is to have the court's opinion, and as far as the court's permission is must. Secondly, where we find that the decomposition will lead to what? Decomposition is only going to lead to an extent that his muscles will be gone, his internal organs will be gone, but still from the skeleton it can be easily found that what is the cause of death. Now जैसे माल्डा आप जो बोल रहे हो, I'll give you an example of this Nithari, which you have mentioned during the chat early in the lecture. In Nithari case, there are several deductions of that case. I don't want to interfere with anything, but I also see, I have closely followed this case because when I was doing my research, my PhD thesis I was writing, that was the time when the Nithari scam was brought for the first time to the light and investigations have started. There was a case of a doctor, involved into it, who went to US. He ran away. There was a case of a SI, PSI, police inspector, who was also not found during the investigation. Third thing was that the skeletons of the bodies of kids have suture marks, right? Which suggested that their internal organs have been taken out. ठीक है सर? तो अब skeleton है, skeleton मतलब कि क्या हुआ? That the body has been completely decomposed, correct? So if the expert is absolutely is very the expert is into the science very much, he can definitely come up with the autopsy or the result, even if the internal organs are already are completely decomposed. So I think that yes, it is possible. It is definitely possible. It's not that I feel like it is, the cases have proved it, right? So Cap sir has asked me this question. The thing is that Cap sir, as you have mentioned it, absolutely correct, that we have very limited knowledge. So this is based on our best understanding. The forensic experts' opinion is always need to be corroborated. So except on the sexual assaults, or except on the sexual crimes, wherever the forensic evidences are being used, it is always taken with caution, because our judges are journalists, they are not specialists. So there is a possibility we find that they are not well versed with the science of the forensic or toxicology. They may not be, but they can easily see that if a person is subjected to some phone calls, he has been subjected to some threatenings, and the same threatenings have resulted into the type of the injuries on his body after that, after we find the dead body. So we can say that the forensic opinion or the expert opinion is corroborated with the facts. So we will say that okay, 0.25 0.5 and 0.5 makes 1, but we don't rely completely on it, as I stated to you, except on the crimes related to the human body, and that too sexual offenses. We always take it with some caution, you know. So that is it. Sudhir sir, I think I should I should conclude my lecture. There's so many things, but still, if you can see that you also have another session lined up, so I will.
No issue, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for such a scholarly, interactive, and informative session. It has greatly enriched our understanding of forensic medicine and technology. And since we are already done with the question and answers, it was going on simultaneously with the lecture, I now request all the participants to please turn on their cameras so we can take a group photograph.
Thank you all of you for your feedback. I'm getting it in the chat box since the photograph is being taken.
मैम एक
So
मिनट में भी फोटो के लिए जरा ऑन होती हूँ.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, everyone. I now invite Mr. Gaurav Saha to deliver the vote of thanks.